We're live.
Hello, howdy.
Hello.
I'm here with two people that aren't real, so they don't matter.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope.
by Turtle Boy. Yeah, no, they're.
Not even my real name.
Mhm. Yep. And I guess we're delving into this now. This is fascinating shit. Turtle Boy has hit a wall. He's really hit a wall there. Oh, you know what we got to watch too? Maybe we should. Do you guys want to read the documents first, or do we want to go over yesterday? Because yesterday was pretty fucking lit.
I mean, yeah, why not? Right? I mean, we can touch on the charting documents, right? The documents. Yeah, I say we touch on what happened yesterday.
Right. Do we have that? Biff, do you have a link to it that's not on Facebook by any chance?
Yeah.
That's not a big deal. Oh, cool.
This was the walk.
The one from his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was the one with the hand.
Yeah, with the hand.
Yeah. Is that just
with the
sure?
hand? There's No, I would pick that as a notable point to the video as well. The hand. Well, just because I can share it on Facebook, but my Facebook messages are going to pop up, and I can tell people like, "Don't message me if you don't want your messages on the screen." But like, inevitably, someone's going to message me.
All right, it's a private chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yesterday, Aidan, because he is an award-winning journalist and super genius, got some anonymous texts, maybe made them up himself. I don't know. You can decide. But he gets these texts apparently somehow, and they tell him that he's going to get arrested in the morning. And he's like, "Okay, anonymous stranger that's texting me from a burner number I don't recognize, I believe you, and I'm going to lose my shit now."
Yeah.
I'll switch over to that. Present.
Yeah, he totally doesn't look phased at all, man. Nothing gets to this guy. He's ready, right? Nothing phases him.
Share screen. It's
Except
telling me now.
Silverados. They face him.
Yeah. Oh God, the Silverados thing. Like, dude's losing his fucking mind. Like, that's abundantly clear.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make sure it is. Is it sharing the audio? This is why I don't stream, guys. I'm much more technical when it comes to the. Oh yeah, it is sharing audio. When it comes to the pre-edited videos at this point, like, I'm not very technical with the streams. All right, so this is him. I'll let him tell his story. How about that?
This is him being super brave, as always.
I could hear his mouth move, so I don't think it's muted.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
His eyes just darting, watching all the cars. Like, this is pathetic. This is fucking pathetic.
His elderly parents' phone number on his hand, lest he need to spend another week with them.
I wonder which mistress is on there.
We're looking for you on YouTube. The YouTube was crapping out. It just doesn't work. I fucking hate YouTube. How it doesn't work. I just get to reconnect all the time.
Well, if your hands are trembling.
This is too important to have.
Quiver in the voice.
So look at. I got some text this morning from a Text Now number. It's an app that can, it basically creates burner numbers. People who prank me do it all the time. But it's a way to remain anonymous. And they said that I'm going to be arrested today. The person is presenting themselves as state police. Like, that's on my side. He said, "Do you still have friends in MSP?" They said some information that only people about my medication. Because last time they got my medication. They took my medication with them. And this person said, I know they let you take your medication last time. And I don't know how this person would know that, because I could be getting pranked. They said I'm going to be extradited to a different state in the South. And that I was going to be brought to Norfolk Superior Court. My lawyer thought it didn't sound right, but I'm not taking any chances. So I went live from the bus stop, tried to. Then I didn't get arrested like last time. But I know they're trying to, man. Like, this is how I live now. Like, if they did arrest me, I mean, I was prepared for it. I got that text at 7:15. I mean, I thought it was a prank the whole time, or not the whole time, but like, it was in the back of my head it's a prank, but I'm not taking any chances. They knew, it just sounded legit, and whoever was behind it knew about medication. So it sounds like I did call. It's a text now app number. They're trying to shake you up. They're gonna. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not taking any chances, and I'm ready for it.
Totally.
If it happens, it happens. Crystal says, I think someone's toying with you. They asked me if I knew someone who lives in North Carolina. Do you have like business in North Carolina? Legion Dusa lives in North Carolina, I believe, right? So I don't know what's going on there. And that's why I'm like, what? I mean, they could be fucking with me. Probably are. It just, you don't get extradited is what happens between countries. They said I was going to be extradited, which takes weeks to do. It would happen in federal court, not in. They said it was Norfolk Superior Court. And if they were looking to get a rise out of me, I mean, they certainly did. And maybe I'm inviting more of that by doing this. But I'm just not taking any chances. It is what it is. If I was arrested for violating the order, it would be in Stoughton. It would be in Stoughton District, not in Superior. If I was indicted, for something, it would be. If I was indicted in Norfolk Superior, then it would not be an arrest because it would be the same charges. So it's probably a scam. You're right. Well, I'm not taking any chances.
One thing that I keep asking myself though is like, what does he mean when he says not taking any chances? Like, what does that mean?
I think he's referring to not having his phone ready to go to film it all. Like he was lamenting that a lot, right? Like, they won't surprise me this time. I mean, I'd like to think that he's talking tough and he would get himself into some extra, physical altercation.
If he whips out the cell phone and records, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, sorry, bro, didn't realize that you recorded. Like, our bad. We're not going to arrest you now."
Right? Yeah.
Carry on.
Right.
Yeah.
Carry on. Like, I'm not taking any chances. What does that mean? He's fucking shook here. He's shook.
He is terrified.
I mean, what is he so shook about? He's clearly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I'm very curious
Shoes.
as to what that shoe is. Shoes.
It's not so much shoes as it's several sets of boots are waiting to drop.
Yeah.
Right, but like, what is it? What is it? Like, what is he worried about here? What is he so worried about? He's very, very concerned with them having his electronics, right? Which they have his electronics. They've obviously downloaded everything by now. Like, I don't like. I noticed he got back into one of his Facebook accounts and was like, haha, I'm back. I'm changing my password. Like, yeah, no, I'm sure they were waiting around to see when you could get back in there. Like, of course they downloaded all that shit. Are you
yeah, he figures because in the front end through his app, it appears as though nothing has been looked through. He doesn't understand that it gets downloaded through the back end. He doesn't grasp that, right? So he figures he's good.
Yeah. Warrants would they would just grab all Facebook data from period A to period B and send that as a separate copy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think honestly, he's like self-soothing himself. He's like, well, you know, if they were going to indict me, then they would not rearrest me because it wouldn't be new charge. Well, unless they find something else, and then maybe there might be new charges. I don't know. I'm just spitballing all options here. Like, this is pathetic. We still have several more minutes. It's the most like silent, like he's just looking out the window, eyes darting around, reading his chat. You can see the wheels turning. Like, this guy is broken. He is broken.
But if you listen to him, bloviate, he'll try to convince you that no, he's been working on his perp walk. He's calm, cool, collected. He's everything's fine, right? Until the next time he's scared, shits himself, and freaks out on the internet for us all to watch.
Right.
He has a cycle, right? Every time he gets shook, he puffs his chest up and beaks off every time. It's a pattern with him, right? The fact that there's a longer gap between them, to me, is evident that he's wearing down. He's falling apart. He might even be realizing that this whole, there's no silent majority. Yeah, dude, there is. Yeah, there is. No.
Shockingly enough, people don't like when you exercise this level of adult bullying. Like, you're not a cool person for that. I don't know who needs to hear that today, but when you get to the point where you're literally punching down on children and soccer moms, like, polite society is not going to look at that. I don't know. I don't go over to polite society a lot. Not a place that I hang out usually, but I know more or less what's acceptable and not over there, and like definitely punching down on kids the way that he has. And you're going to see that because we're going to go through, I'm sure that he's not going to release his entire decision from today and memorandum.
I
judge for him to fucking shreds. And I hope that he appeals this because like he can take another beating, in the higher courts too. That would be fun.
Right? Oh yes, please. Yes. I would like to see that as well. Hell yeah.
All right.
If he was a real journalist, I'm just gonna put this out there. If he was a real journalist, he would violate, get arrested, take his licks, and take this to the Supreme Court.
Right.
But he's not. He's not a real journalist.
Right. Yeah.
He thinks any moment that it's going to be dismissed, and it's just not. I mean, I think the judge made that abundantly clear today.
But isn't the FBI about to indict all the Alberts and McCabe's anytime now, right? And prove, when is that happening?
So here's the thing about the FBI, right?
Any day.
These grand jury proceedings are secret, right? They're closed hearings. They're not, there's no public information. They're sealed. And when the FBI comes in, as it was explained to me, they'll investigate. They go through this. If it returns no bill, they don't make a statement. They just move on to the next thing. So you're never going to be told, we investigated this and found nothing. So when you do a little research, the average grand jury takes about 3 months. We're at 6 since they started talking about it. 6 months. Okay. So I think it's pretty fair to say that came back no bill. Like, I mean, if you want to keep holding your breath and waiting for the Alberts, McCabe's, the rest of Canton, Michael Morrissey's office, the dog catcher, fucking the guy that sells pierogies down the street to all get indicted, like, please hold your breath until you suffocate, because that's going to happen.
Well, any day now, guys.
But I think it's reasonable at this point. I've heard that it returned no bill. I certainly do not have that confirmed. But I think it's reasonable to assume, based on the information about grand juries that is available to the public, that the time frame suggests that is accurate information. It was no bill. Either way, these people were subpoenaed as witnesses and not the subject of the grand jury. So that kind of hurts that whole theory anyway. But like, go on, I guess. I'm so done arguing with these conspiracy theorists. I'm just done with it. Like, believe whatever you want. You guys are fucking idiots, and I can't believe that you are able to get your pants on in the morning. But good for you.
Well, and I mean, if since they were called in as witnesses, I would speculate that they were just reinvestigating the case from an outsider's perspective to make sure that there was no funny business going on in the MSP, right?
Or maybe there was funny business that initiated it in the first place. I don't know. Do you?
True.
Like, I know we're gonna know. So this is the full memorandum and orders on the bail petition. So in short, it was denied. The judge declined to vacate the stay away orders, declined to outright to vacate the no contact orders. So there was no change or modification to the no contact orders at all. That stays. And I think at this point, even his lawyer, I think, told him like he's already violated that a ton because he can't shut the fuck up. He's an idiot. Right. And like, this is who he is as a person. And I think I've been getting a lot more people reaching out to me over the last week, I want to say, from his side, being like, holy shit, like, you know, like, you were right, like, which I don't need to hear. That's fine. Like, honestly, if you can get out of that cult, you don't have to ever talk to me. That's fine. Just get out while you can. That ship is sinking. He is throwing people under the bus left and right. Whatever happened to the dispatcher that he got fired, by the way? Like, what? That was just like not a big deal. Is it her fault or like what?
Is he not raising money for her? I assume that a good journalist would do that, right?
A good journalist probably wouldn't put somebody in that position in the first place.
Wouldn't.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't even want to call him a blogger. Dude is a gossip columnist. He talks about ladies' bangs. He's ridiculous, dude.
Isn't a columnist sort of like a legitimate title in a way, though?
Is it gossip? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I call him an internet shit poster most of the time because that's
But I mean, what kind of dude gets catty like that, right? And I gotta say real quick, man, a turtle rider. And if you're a dude and you call yourself a turtle rider and the turtle calls himself daddy, okay, you fucking suck, dude. You suck. Look in the mirror and just to absorb, you just get the truth into you. The sooner the better. You fucking lice be lame, okay?
Yes, Pegleg. He was requesting. He doesn't just want judicial approval for further witness tampering. He demands it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is his God-given natural constitutional right as what is that? A real man and not a corporate entity or whatever weird soft shit he's going down to now. I mean, some of the justification. So he obviously gets denied. We're going to slog our way through that. We're always slow to get to the documents, but he gets denied and immediately is like, I'm going to appeal this to a higher court because it's everybody's right. First, he said that it was his constitutional right, his First Amendment right to report on this case. And, you know, now he's changed it and said, well, I was encouraging people to tell the truth. So we've taken a step closer, Aidan, and I'm proud of you for this. We've taken a step closer to at least admitting that, yes, I was trying to influence these people's testimony. So that is progress. You kind of got to do it, right? But it's progress. But now he believes that you have the right to, encourage people to tell the truth, which sounds like a mom, but go on, Queen. All right. So he was denied.
Yeah.
I got 2 tabs open here. So this is it, right? This is the right one. Okay. All right. So, defendant Aidan T. Kearney is charged by complaints in the Stoughton District Court with witness intimidation, unlawful picketing to influence a witness, and conspiracy to intimidate a witness. On October 11th, 2023, the District Court released defendant on personal recognizance, so he had no bail, but ordered him to stay away from and have no contact with the named witnesses and alleged victims. Defendant is now before the court on his petition under GLC Chapter 276, Section 58, to vacate the stay away / no contact order in a witness intimidation case. He argues that because he is a member of the media, the stay away / no contact order is vague, overbroad, and cannot apply to him without running afoul of the First Amendment, and that the statutes under which he is charged do not put him on fair notice of what constitutes criminal behavior. After 2 hearings and after careful review of the parties' numerous filings, including the parties' post-hearing submissions, I largely disagree for the following reasons. And the footnote here explains that the defendant's bail petition was scheduled for hearing on October 26th. At or just prior to the hearing, the defendant filed a brief entitled Petition for Review of District Court Bail Determination, October 25th, with a supporting affidavit from defendant. Defendant's filing raised issues related to the freedom of the press, which are not usually raised in a bail hearing. Appeal. At the hearing on October 26, 2023, I allowed the Commonwealth an opportunity to address in writing the issues defendant raised. I scheduled the case for further hearing on November 1st, 2023. On October 31st, 2023, as permitted, the Commonwealth filed its reply in opposition to the defendant's petition for review of district court bail determination. At or just before the hearing on November 1st, 2023, defendant filed a supplemental memorandum in support of a petition for review of district court bail determination, which raised new issues and a supplemental affidavit of Aidan Kearney. Notwithstanding defendant's late supplemental filing, the parties agreed to proceed with the hearing on November 1st, 2023. So that's twice in a row that he and his lawyer, pretty much sprung shit on the court last minute. The first time they waited until I think like 4:42 after the court was closed, and presumably the special prosecutor was wrapping up his day to, put in their first brief, their memorandum, which usually doesn't happen in a bail review. And then the next hearing that comes up, like right at the last minute again, they do a supplemental memorandum. But the second time they were like, whatever, let's just go. At argument, I allowed both parties to submit by close of business day on November 2nd, 2023, recordings underlying or relevant to the criminal complaints. I received a thumb drive from the Commonwealth, which I have attached to the Commonwealth's reply in opposition, and later received a portable hard drive from defendant, which I have attached to defendant's supplemental affidavit. After the hearing on November 1st, 2023, and without prior court approval, I also received from defendant a second supplemental memorandum in support of a petition for review of district court bail determination. So after the hearing concluded, a day later, at the end of the day, they go ahead and they put another filing in. Does this sound familiar? Burying the opposition with ridiculous filings.
Yeah, it does. It parallels a certain case.
A little experience in that, and I'm not a lawyer, but okay, go on, Queen. Good job, Aidan and his lawyer. All right, and a final memorandum in support of petition for review of district court bail determination, both of which seek to explain away or contextualize defendant's words and action. So it's always a good idea, if you're a 41-year-old man facing 9 felony charges, to just keep pleading with no, you took it out of context. Let me explain everything away. It's going to go well. That's you should do that.
Yeah, I'm a satirist now. So hey, it's all jokes, bro. And dude, you know what? Make one of them funny, please. Bro, Bradle, Jewish lawyer, Bradle, bro. What the dude? I hate that shit.
Yeah, he's not funny. He's not funny. Like if it's satire, the humor is lacking. All right. And then the judge says, I have reviewed and considered all of these materials. So good for you. The judge probably wanted to fucking hang himself after watching like that many of Aidan's soul poisoning videos. All right. So background. A, defendant's interest in the Reed case. Defendant is a local blogger and activist who operates a number of websites and social media accounts under the name Turtle Boy. Defendant refers to his followers as Turtle Riders. Defendant has taken a shine to a case pending in this court entitled Commonwealth v. Karen Reed, 2282 CR 0017117, the Reed case. In the Reed case, Karen Reed faces murder charges for the January 2022 killing outside 34 Fairview Road in Canton of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, who was a Boston police officer. The Commonwealth alleges that Reed killed O'Keefe by hitting him with her motor vehicle before leaving the scene. Massachusetts State Police Trooper Trooper Proctor, is the lead investigator on the Reed case. Trooper Proctor is married to Elizabeth Proctor, who otherwise has no role in the Reed case. Witnesses in the Reed case include Matthew and Jennifer McCabe, together the McCabes, who were with Reed and O'Keefe on the night that O'Keefe died. Brian, Julie, Chris, and Colin Albert, who own the property at 34 Fairview Road in Canton. We gotta go to the bottom, sorry. Who were with Reed and O'Keefe on the night O'Keefe was killed, and or Aidan. So before you start running your mouth about Colin Albert again, that's an and or, okay? Yeah. They were either with Reed and O'Keefe on the night or were interviewed by investigators. And Juliana Nagel, who was at 34 Fairview Road in Canton on the night that O'Keefe died. To say the defendant has taken a pro-defense position in the Reed case is to understate.
That's a good sign there, buddy.
I've read this several times. So I'll crack up with that one right there.
Yeah, let that sink in,
taking
guys.
a pro-defense position on the Reed case is to understate the level of his partisanship and advocacy. And then he goes on to cite the Boston Magazine article available at this URL, which quotes the defendant as writing or saying, Aidan. So you can't be like, oh, no, he said I wrote it and I really said it. Therefore, I am innocent. Like writing or saying. Karen Reed is a completely innocent woman, wrongly charged by corrupt cops who would see her rot in prison in order to cover up the murder of a fellow officer. And about the deceased family. I don't even want to say it, honestly. So you can read it, but I'm not going to. I don't even want to fucking read that garbage.
Yep. No, understood.
As the quote, I don't know why that bothers me so much still. It just really bothers me.
Because we can humanize with the victims and their families.
Yeah.
He cannot.
Exactly.
As these quotes suggest, defendant prides himself on not being a conventional journalist. According to the Boston Magazine piece, defendant claims that the beauty of Turtle Boy is that I can do things in an unconventional manner that other journalists are restricted from doing. I love being the center of attention and being theatrical and performing. This is what I was made to do. In pursuit of his performative journalism and personal brand, defendant has berated witnesses in the Reed case, badgered them, although they have indicated that they do not wish to speak to him, and pressured them to change their testimony. Right, we have two. And this is on this second footnote, the judge points out that journalists generally adhere to codes of ethics that constrain their behavior. See the Code of Ethics, Society of Professional Journalists, available at this URL. Ethical journalists treat subjects and members of the public as human beings deserving of respect. Pursuit of the news is not a license for arrogance or undue intrusiveness. Statement of Principles, American Society of Newspaper Editors, available at this URL. Journalists should respect the rights of people. Footnotes are annoying when it's... Where is it? Journalists should respect the rights of people involved in the news and observe the common standard of decency. Defendant does not appear to subscribe to these codes.
No, he doesn't appear to it in the slightest. Yeah.
I think. Right. We're off to a good start for Aidan, though. I really feel like he's doing good. All right? Like,
yeah. His petition's going marvelous, Aidan.
And they go on to note that defendant has been able to increase his following substantially based on monthly page views and viewership with his confrontational stories, live videos, and inflammatory blog posts about the Reed case. So right off the bat here, the judge is really laying it on the table and going, look, this is highly biased what you're doing. It does not adhere to journalistic codes of ethics and standards, right? And even the judge can see what the real interest here is, that this dude went from getting 200-300 live viewers an episode to getting 3,000 live viewers an episode. And that is success that he has never before tasted and probably never will again, right? So
all that matters to him.
Right. This is the motivation here. It's money, it's ego, it's greed, it's of course, the judge wouldn't know this, but in my humble opinion, that deep-rooted narcissistic need to be right. And if the truth doesn't line up with what Aidan's saying, he will bend it to make it, right? He will make himself right. Right. The truth is what Aidan tells you that it is, because he's a fucking cult leader. Right. So the judge at least acknowledges most of what we already know. And he has never met the guy prior. So
he's just that classic sawed-off little goofball, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is how he gets his kicks.
Yeah. So B, harassing contact and telephone calls. The criminal complaints against defendant in the Stoughton District Court arise out of defendant's action reaching out to witnesses and their family members, organizing a caravan of vehicles to drive by the homes of witnesses or family members, and posting veiled threats, sarcastic and rhetorical questions, and other harassing information in the course of his reporting, in quotes, on the Reed case. These actions are reflected in reports by Massachusetts State Police Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, Detective Lieutenant Tully, submitted in support of the Stoughton District Court complaints and borne out by the video clips supplied by the Commonwealth after the November 1st, 2023 hearing. I describe only some of the actions by defendants set out in Detective Lieutenant Tully's reports. Defendant has posted a number of YouTube videos in which he issues veiled threats to various witnesses in the Reed case or encourages his followers to take action with respect to such witnesses. For example, after visiting witnesses' homes in Canton, defendant posted a video online, episode 594, in which he stated, "It must frustrate him to no end because I know Brian Albert is watching this right now, to watch me just emasculate his family time after time, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do about it. I'm going to keep doing it. This is not my last trip to Canton. I will be back." And more, I think people are getting like, a year or so ago, people didn't want to cooperate with the Karen Reed defense team because they're like, yeah, it's easier to keep my head down and, whatever, and keep a low profile. But now, now they're like, fuck it. We've made people realize you don't have nothing to be afraid of. Right. And the third footnote here, I just want to point out that the judge says defendant contends that Detective Lieutenant Tully takes some of his statements out of context. To the extent possible, I've tried to confirm the accuracy of the quotations in this decision by reviewing the actual video clips supplied by the Commonwealth. So right here, Aidan, I'm sorry, but your out of context argument did not fool this judge, right? Because he listened to the whole thing. And it's like, you can't tell a lie with your fingers crossed behind your back and then go, no, actually I was telling the truth. You know what I mean? You can't say, it's like Talladega Nights. You ever seen that movie, Ricky Bobby?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
The fight at the bar, the guy that goes, with all due respect, and then insults you and says, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said with all due respect. That's how Aidan is treating him. Well, I said that I wasn't a threat. It's like, you can't say this isn't a threat and then proceed to threaten. Right.
No, that's not how it works.
Like, this isn't a threat, but is invalidating.
Doesn't negate it.
Your qualifying statement, right?
And all that shit about being a journalist, like, yeah, you can be a citizen journalist and still commit a crime, you moron.
Right.
Like, he conflates so much. The way his logic works is ridiculous, right? Harassment order doesn't work, therefore witness intimidation isn't a factor. Like, dude, you just fuck.
Well, yeah, and you can't come on and say, I'm going to stalk you to every one of your kids' games, but I'm not a threat. It's fine.
As a fact-finding mission, wink. Like, dude, no, not how it works, buddy. No.
I think in one of the previous hearings, Attorney Mello, who's the special prosecutor on the case, came up with a pretty good analogy that if you're a journalist and you're investigating a bank that is alleged to be passing counterfeit bills, if you break into the bank and break into the vault to personally inspect the bills and prove that they're counterfeit, like you still committed a crime.
That's
like
right,
you can't break into the bank, right? Like
two things can be true at once. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of this is just quotes from his, and just for brevity's sake, I'm going to blow past this because these are just kind of summation of his quotes. We've heard them. I've put them on videos. I'll probably make another video and just put everything out so you can hear for yourself. It's not just his words either. Like, the words are terrible, obviously. The tone, like, they're very threatening, and the court recognizes this.
And bizarre and unhinged.
Right. And I certainly, as always, will put this, I'll host it and then put it in the link in the description. I'll probably actually pin it to the comments too. So you can go back and you can read it for yourself. I would encourage you to do that because, that's what we like to do around here. Don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself.
Absolutely, all the time.
And a footnote down here does, note that after Aidan had posted a video regarding Chris's restaurant, Chris Albert, who's one of the victims here, he had a vast increase to the number of telephone orders that weren't picked up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he's imparting financial, emotional, right, like psychological.
I hear he was even besieged by a stone-faced weirdo, right? Like,
we'll get to that too, because other people are now starting to pick up charges and stuff over this shit.
Yeah.
At what point does Turtle World go like, okay, it's time to stop now? Like, you people are out of control. Really out of control. All right. So this goes on to go to the videos about Trooper Proctor's wife and, putting out phone numbers. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a footnote that just kind of, reflects that, he has threatened the witnesses, said they can't go out in public. They can't leave the country. We're going to find you. Your private life is over. We've seen these.
Yeah.
And the court is affirming that even when Aidan he had his stupid, smooth-brained turtle riders. Oh, guys, get me all the clips of these quotes and we'll put them in context. Like the court text, and like it's still witness intimidation and harassment, bro. I don't know what to tell you. So this is, I think it's a lot of pages of this. All right. Yeah. Putting out phone numbers, people. When defendant learned that Elizabeth's employer had taken down its social media accounts, he laughed and described it as the, quote, turtle boy effect. This is all really incriminating shit that he's done. Like, this is, I was shocked when he went this off the rails because, like, he is not a smart man at all, obviously. No, but this is next level stupid.
Yeah.
Right. And Trooper Proctor had to change his work cell phone number because of Aidan. Good job. Like, you're directly impacting these people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Proudly.
This is one that we haven't seen. I'm going to put this clip on the channel too, but he went to Jen McCabe's sister's house and he makes these comments about Jen McCabe's sister's house. He says, "You better fucking stay out of this." That sign that got me. And the sign said "Justice for John O'Keefe."
Right.
What the hell? What's the problem? Like, are you kidding me? Like, something supportive of the O'Keefe family sends this guy over the edge and makes him commit crimes. What the fuck is wrong with your head? He says, "This sign fucking disgusts me. You worthless piles of shit called John O'Keefe, and you have the balls to put these fucking signs in your yard. You have the balls. Did you know they don't even have Turtle Boy logos?"
Right. There's no link to my Cash App.
Right. Why? Because we're fighting for an innocent woman's life. You killed John O'Keefe, you worthless piles of shit, and I'm going to find you, motherfucker. I'm going to find you. Just know that. You want to fucking dance? We can fucking dance. I didn't know who you were before this. I thought you were Jen's lesbian sister or some shit. I didn't know shit about you. Now we know all about your son, Tommy. And Tommy's the lacrosse coach, I believe, at Canton High School, right? Yeah. Whoa. We can talk about Tommy too. We can pay Tommy a visit. We're going to go. You're going to get the whole fucking deal now. All of it. Allie McCabe, another child. She can get it too. Mm-hmm. They can all get it. We have left the second generation out for a bit. That's over now.
It's amazing how he slowly ramps up the pressure to include your families.
He always goes after kids.
It's like one ring at a time until you break. Seems to be his MO.
Yeah. He's like a very short Freddy Krueger.
This is just recalling the weird voicemail that he left a teenage boy. I can't believe you say these words out loud. Yeah. All right. After leaving this message, the defendant spoke to his followers on the same video and reminded them that they had heard Colin Albert's telephone number and that they could replay the video to get his telephone number. I wonder why he would do that.
Right.
C. Defendant organizes drive-by of homes. Defendant organized and publicized a rolling rally to bring his followers to the homes of witnesses and the lead investigator in the Reed case. At about noon on July 22nd, 2023, defendant met a number of other vehicles at Shaw's in Norwood. He live-streamed the vehicle caravan, representing that there were 100 to 200 people in the caravan of vehicles. We have another footnote. Footnote 9. Video clips that the Commonwealth and defendant submitted to the court after the November 1st, 2023 hearing show a crowd of people on the street with defendant at various stops. So that's uncontested. Good. Like, during the video, the defendant bragged about being able to locate the witnesses wherever they travel. Not creepy at all.
No.
The next location was the Proctor's home. The Proctors were not at home. Defendant stayed at that location for about 7 minutes. During that time, defendant used a megaphone and stated that Trooper Proctor had framed Reed and stated personal information about Trooper Proctor's family. While in front of the Proctor's home, members of the protest, which had organized and fermented by the defendant, walked onto the Proctor's lawn and spit on the driveway, according to Detective Lieutenant Tully. And they have video of that. So, don't let them contest that. That's bullshit. Fucking animals. The third location was the McCabe's home in Canton, where they live with their 4 children. Defendant spent about 8 minutes in front of the McCabe's home. On his video, defendant said that Jen McCabe is going to jail, participated in murder, manufactured evidence, and lied to investigators. Defendant took a bullhorn so that he could be heard by the McCabe's neighbors, stating, "I just want all Jen McCabe's neighbors to know, in case they don't already know, that the people that live right here at house number, they are the cop killers. They are cop killers, folks. There are cop killers that live here. They are going to try to live their lives like nothing happened, but we're not going to let them do that because you do not get to kill police officers and fathers and get away with it." Okay. All right. The rolling rally went by Juliana Nagel's house in Canton, Massachusetts. Miss Nagel was at home. Okay, Miss Nagel was at home. She lived in that home with her parents and 2 siblings. Defendant stopped at Miss Nagel's home for about 10 minutes. At that location, defendant announced that Miss Nagel lives at the residence, encouraged her to come out and tell the truth, and sought to have Miss Nagel's neighbors pressure her. Detective Lieutenant Tully quotes defendant as saying, you might as well tell the truth and let the world know what happened. Neighbors, maybe you guys can help us pressure them into this." Fucking retarded. Julie Nagel was involved, was at the murder of a Boston police officer. She knows what happened, and she is actively involved in the cover-up. She should not be able to walk around town like none of this happened while an innocent woman named Karen Reed suffers the consequences of her silence and her complicity. While traveling to the next stop, defendant broadcast that the stop at Miss Nagel's house was a good one because they were home.
Oh my God!
Made sure our intimidation stuck.
Oh Jesus!
Textbook.
Yeah.
No, you had a thought. Finish it.
No, it's just the same thing that bugs the shit out of me about the guy. Is like he talks like a valley girl. He bitches about people's bangs and shit, and then he goes on and he says things like, "I could kick your ass, Proctor. Your wife knows it too. I could beat the shit." He wanted to challenge him to a fight, right? Talking like that, dude, bro. No. Because
would you say, is it fair for me? What I'm hearing here is that perhaps you feel that he is too effeminate in mannerisms to be speaking.
It's beyond effeminate, man. It's beyond effeminate because you can be effeminate and still sell me on that you got a right hook to be worried about. You know what I mean? You can be wearing a skirt and still be a problem. This guy is just, he's got a deuterus. He's just not right. It's because like your bangs, Becky. Oh my God, bro, you're 41.
Right.
You're 41 years old, man. Stop. Stop.
He is like a catty valley girl. He really
is. I hate it, dude. He's got Golden Girls energy. I can't stand that shit. I love that show, by the way, but you shouldn't be a dude like that. It's just
the problem with him is that he has to look up, swing up, and jump up just to touch most of our asses, right? Like, so he's got this profound like little man syndrome.
And you know what? That's the thing, right? You can either go like Napoleon, right? Or like you could have been a rad little guy like Ronnie James Dio was like, I don't know, 3 foot some. All of AC/DC are 4 feet tall. They're the coolest dudes on the planet. Like you could have been that, but no, you have to be what you are, a weird little goblin.
And I just want to
weird little goblin.
Yeah, no, I just want to interject and say hi, Josh. Nice to see you again. So I would love for you to come in Discord afterwards and tell me what that logical, relevant question was, because I'm 50-50 that it was. I should say I'm 50-50 that it was logical. I'm 50-50 that it was relevant, and I'm like 40-60 towards that it wasn't. Obviously, that it was logical and relevant, but there's a possibility there. But if that's the case, and it is as you say it is, this bullshit shouldn't rage you because the court entertains this, which they're supposed to be. They're supposed to. They have to. Other conduct. All right, now we get into this, and we'll talk a little bit about the dispatcher that I haven't seen one fundraiser for her. Isn't that odd?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's almost like she got treated like she was expendable.
Yeah, it's like a pattern to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I have the annoying vape habit now, so like everyone's gonna have to deal with it. I really don't give a shit. But
yeah,
hey,
I can do it indoors.
There you go.
I'm drinking scotch, so you know.
All right, good. Yeah.
Cheers.
We're not classy people here. Well, you are because you have a fine scotch, but
yeah, I switched over to my 21-year Glen Grant, so
right. But you know, this is I think she's not a really. I don't know how to say this without, because I mean, I'm not going to shit on this woman too much. She just lost a lot. Like whatever. It was a dumb move. It was a shitty move. It was a dumb move. I'm shocked by the level of brainwashing here, but I would hope that she would realize at this point that this guy does not give a fuck about you. Like, you know, you just gave up your career.
There's also a high chance that another pattern was afoot too, and he might have put pressure on her. Right. Might not have all been about being a sycophant. It turns out that a lot of people are coerced. Yeah,
he does do a little bit of the blackmailing.
He sure seems to.
But regardless, before late September 2023, she had done this for him for a while, which is concerning. And like it sucks to lose your job, but I'm not upset that she did lose her job because like she was trusted with the CJIS system.
Yeah.
She abused that. And she abused that for no other reason than to help this squirrely little jerk off goblin, egomaniac, boost his ego and his following and his bank account. Like, you know, like, was it worth it? If you tell yourself that it was worth it, you're fucking lying to yourself. That's for sure. Before late September 2023, defendant obtained information about motor vehicle registrations from the CJIS system. We got it from Janelle Webb, civilian dispatcher with the Avon Police Department. Defendant knew or should have known that it was legal to obtain or to have Miss Webb obtain such information. On September 25th, 2023, defendant tweeted a photograph and message depicting vehicles parked at the Proctor's home, including information about the vehicle registrations that he improperly obtained from Webb. Good luck getting out of that one. On September 24th, 2023, defendant broadcast a live YouTube video. When talking about an interaction he had with Colin Albert's aunt, defendant stated, "I'm trying to put her like godson/nephew in jail. And, you know, kind of like destroy their lives." I don't even like saying the likes.
Jesus.
Don't love it.
Yeah.
On October 2nd, 2023, defendant posted a video on YouTube. During that video, defendant stated that you, Chris Albert, don't have a right to live peacefully, dude. It's not a thing. Okay. How'd that play out? So this is the procedural history. This is just the procedural history of the case, though, such far, which not a lot because he just got arraigned. On October 11th, 2023, defendant was charged with and arraigned on 9 criminal complaints, each charging one or more of the crimes of witness intimidation in violation of GL Chapter 268, Section 13B, unlawful picketing in order to influence a witness in violation of General Laws Chapter 268, Section 13A, and conspiracy to commit witness intimidation in violation of General Laws Chapter 274, Section 7. The different criminal complaints involve different alleged victims. Also on October 11th, 2023, Judge Daniel O'Malley released defendant on personal recognizance, which means no monetary bail, and it's just a promise to appear, and entered an order in all 9 dockets requiring defendant to stay away from and have no contact with the named witnesses or alleged victims. In his order of pretrial conditions of release, Judge O'Malley placed an X in the box next to have no contact, direct or indirect, with circled direct, indirect, and wrote, "Stay away and no contact from each named witness via any mechanism." He also placed an X next to the box, X in the box next to "stay blank distance away," and wrote in the witnesses. Judge O'Malley did not specify a particular distance defendant had to maintain from the particular witnesses in order to satisfy the stay away obligation. And did I not say as soon as that happened, like, that's going to be, like, I immediately, like, that's going to be a problem, right? Because, like, that is clearly overbroad and ambiguous. Like, you know, what does stay away mean? Yes.
I think that this was a way for the judge to see just what he would do with a vague order, and he clearly has not stopped talking about the case. since he was arrested.
I don't, well, because like I think that it was an oversight on the part of the judge, honestly, because that was a long arraignment. Like, I have watched arraignments, I've sat through my own arraignments on an occasion or two. They usually don't take, almost an hour. Like, that was just a lot of reciting the facts, and there was a lot of back and forth on the First Amendment issue. And I think, honestly, the judge just didn't know what to do, because, like, it's obvious he needs to stay away from these people, right? Like, given the nature of the case and his conduct leading up to the case, frankly, his conduct after, his arraignment and this order was put in place really shows clearly that he needs to stay away from these people. He doesn't want to, right? But he needs to. And I think the judge just, as an oversight, didn't put, because that was pretty silly. I mean, I've never,
you know what? I could honestly see it as actually like he didn't have all of the information. So you're going to make something overbroad, knowing that they're going to appeal it or make a motion to like remove it, and then he'll have the opportunity to look at the evidence at hand. Because I mean, how do you drink from this fire hose of depravity and bullshit?
I wish that we had a lawyer on with us right now, because they'd have a better, like, I wish that Paul was available. I'd even take Merb. Like, right? I would be surprised if a judge ever purposely sets himself up for an appeal, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
No, yeah. I'm the farthest thing from a lawyer, that's for sure. Yeah.
Right. But either way, I mean, I know enough to know that when I saw that there was no distance specified, that I was like, yeah, this is going to be a problem. Like, that was a legitimate argument that they raised. It was obvious, and obviously the higher court agreed, the superior court agreed. Defendant now appeals the stay away / no contact order. In his petition for review of district court bail determination, defendant argues that all of his actions and statements were done as acts of indisputable journalism.
Indisputable.
Oh my God. Good I would dispute it, seriously. I'm a little biased. I don't fucking like the guy, but I would dispute it no matter who it was, right? But and that the district court order, the judge is disputing it, and the district court's order will have a pronounced chilling effect on his ability to continue to cover the story of the Reed case, and will constitute a prior restraint on his speech. There are things about this, the hypocrisy in this, that I am court ordered to not discuss.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. But anyone who's been around for a while, I just want to earmark the hypocrisy of complaining about a prior restraint on speech using a mechanism such as a stay away order, without excusing myself for any indiscretions that I may or may not have committed, right? Like, at the end of the day, I feel like I've been in a couple situations with Aidan Kearney where my actions have been internet speech-based, that he wanted shut right the fuck down. One instance got shut the fuck down.
Yeah.
Not that particular issue is the only issue around the broader subject matter. But
it's the hallmark of the cry bully. It's what it is, right? That's the number one move,
Right. You don't like being told you can't. I mean, fuck.
You can't say things about me, but shut up.
Right. I'll tell you one thing. I've never gotten a stay away order of any kind that I felt like I needed to dispute past getting pissed off at first because of my own ego. Like, at the end of the day, there's nobody in the world that I need to contact that much outside of my immediate family. But okay. Right. Yeah. He also argues that the stay away / no contact order is vague and essentially gives these 8 individuals veto power over his reporting by allowing them to simply show up at any venue, any public place, any courthouse relevant to his reporting, and flush him out, evicting him at will under risk of 90 days incarceration. Apparently, let's be real. What he's saying here is, like, if I can't harass these people, I don't have content.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Yeah, and that is the truth. That is the absolute truth. Because, I mean, he's not going to hold anyone's attention with his fucking jokes. I mean.
Well, and it's all a part of his on brand. I can do things that normal journalists can't.
Right.
Right, but you're not a journalist, dude. Like,
Well,
for entertainment.
You're a
again,
failed school teacher accused of being a little too weird with the young ladies, right?
Yeah.
That fucking started an online blog because out of his own mouth, he's unemployable, right? Like, which I think at this point we can all concur, right? Like, nobody's gonna fucking hire. Like, honestly, what are you gonna? Nobody would even want you mopping the floors of the McDonald's because children walk by there, dude. Like, I'm just saying, you know, like, so he goes to this weblog thing and just has a very contentious relationship with the truth and a very contentious, you know, relationship with basic morals and standards of decency, right?
You don't think there's any employers out there looking for a half pint couch strafer? I don't think so.
Right. In subsequent filings, defendant argues that the statutes in question are vague as they apply to him. So, like, he's literally arguing and like, hey, listen, the law doesn't apply to me. Like, I don't even. This does. This so I have the right to, you know, pressure witnesses any way that I want, which you don't.
He can't violate the law if they don't have jurisdiction, right?
Right.
And this, I think, is interesting. And again, like, you know, short notice with this decision, I really would have loved to have an attorney on the panel here, just because, like, I know what I don't know. And it's this, but I'm not an idiot either, so I can kind of understand what the court is saying here. So the district court has statutory authority to issue the stay away, no contact order. Under Massachusetts law, in considering bail, if a judge of the district court determines it to be necessary, the judge may order the defendant to abide by specific restrictions on personal associations or conduct, including but not limiting to avoiding all contact with an alleged victim of the crime and any potential witness or witnesses who may testify concerning the offense as a condition of release. That's General Law, Chapter 276, Section 58, Paragraph 1, the last sentence. See Brangan versus Commonwealth, 477 Mass 691, 706, 18 from 2017. In contrast to conditions imposed under GL Chapter 276, Section 87, which requires the defendant's consent, Chapter 276, Section 58 expressly authorizes a judicial officer setting bail to also include a stay away / no contact order, even over a defendant's objection. The parties agree that the Superior Court has the power to review the conditions set by the District Court. See General Laws, Chapter 276, Section 58, Paragraph 8. The Superior Court shall, in accordance with the standards set forth in the first paragraph of the section, hear the petition for review. The justices of the Superior Court may, after a hearing on the petition for review, make any other order of bail or recognizance or remand the petitioner in accordance with the terms of the process by which he was ordered committed by the District Court. All right. And the case that they're citing there is Commonwealth versus Madden. All right. So rather than challenge the district court's legal authority to issue the stay away, no contact order, defendant challenges the factual basis for the charges against him, particularly the charges of witness intimidation and unlawful picketing. And there's a note there. And I just want to point out too, that this is an understanding that I have from some of the attorneys that I'm working with, that in most of these like arraignment phase motions, you're really working off what they call the four corners of the report. So, like, you're not making factual arguments at that point. That's really more later on down the road. So when they're looking at things like whether they're going to find probable cause, whether they're going to, dismiss a case or continue on, things like bail, you're looking at the four corners of the report, and you're essentially assuming that everything within there is accurate and, seeing if within those facts, probable cause exists or, bail conditions are reasonable and appropriate, right? Like, it's not really till down the road that you really go through like the fact basis. So I thought it was weird that Aidan's attorney immediately went to a factual argument. I would love some clarification as to whether or not that was a smart move or not. I mean, it was an unsuccessful one regardless, but I'd like to understand that more. I just know what I
have an assumption on that. One thing Aidan really liked about his attorney is that he does whatever he wants. Right. And Aidan's been going on about how I don't want my defense to be defensive. I want my defense to be offensive. Right. And we got to double down on this and that. And I would assume, given my assumption of his relationship with his lawyer, that he is the one making the decision. The lawyer's letting him do it because he's just cashing his checks until dude goes away. So
I don't know that the factual arguments here really worked out in his favor in the long run anyway, but we'll see that a little bit.
That's Aidan's style to argue it now, right? So
right. So I know that we were. Was there another footnote that I was getting to? All right, number 10. Sorry, we're gonna go to footnote number 10 now. All right, so defendant does not appear to challenge the factual basis for the charge that he conspired with Webb to procure CJIS information to which he was not legally entitled. Like, that was a smart move, because I wouldn't try to argue that right now. Mm-hmm. It's pretty black and white, dude. Right, so Massachusetts law makes it a crime to threaten physical, emotional, or economic injury, or to harass a witness or a witness's family in reckless disregard of the fact that it may interfere with a criminal case. There you go. All right. Mm-hmm. Physical, emotional, or economic injury, or to harass a witness or a witness's family in reckless disregard, which means you knew that it could, influence them, but you did it anyway. Our laws also bar retaliation against a witness for participating in a criminal case. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's not just, and he's done this, and I think I just put this out in my last video too. He says things like, Chris Albert, if you come clean, this all ends. That's pretty. Yes. I'm harassing you. I'm making your life uncomfortable and miserable. It will stop if you say what I want you to say. I mean, that's
he does. It reminds me of the Mad Max "just walk away" line. The whole scene there. It's like, if you just capitulate and give us the gas, you can walk away.
But on the other end of that, if you say, I'm going to make your life miserable because you are free, you testified against Karen Reed, you're retaliating. So there's no way around this. It's
just walk away.
But it's not rocket appliances, right?
It is not. No, it is not, Ricky.
Right.
Worst case, Ontario.
Yeah. And the relevant provision states, whoever willfully, either directly or indirectly, threatens, attempts, or causes physical, emotional, or economic injury to, or harasses another person who is a witness, potential witness, or police officer, or a family member of such a person, with the intent to, or with reckless disregard for the fact that it may impede, obstruct, delay, prevent, or otherwise interfere with a criminal investigation or a trial or other criminal proceeding, or punishes, harms, or otherwise retaliates against such person, for such person or such person's family member participating in any of the proceedings described in this section, commits a crime, right? So I'd be working on a plea. And that's I'm not even being an asshole and being snarky about that, honestly. If I was in this position, I would be.
No, legitimately, yeah. And you wouldn't be talking every day, and you wouldn't be showing your cards, right? All of his defense strategies, he's talking out loud and gaming on video, right? Good plan, bud. Good plan.
Well, and I mean, the one thing about him is that if you tell him no, he's going to come back and do it 10 times harder.
Yeah.
And the courts told him, no, you don't do this. And he's going to continue. And no one can tell him what to do. Just like, no one can put him in the back of a cop car. But I guess that happened.
Yeah.
I'm begging you. Arrest me. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, again, I see one of his people. Hello, Kelly Angel. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry to inform you that you are in a cult. But I mean, it's not all taken away, because remember, he had you guys go and find all the context. Remember, you guys went on that fool's errand for him, and he sent all the videos over to the judge. The judge watched both of them. So I'm not going to comment too much on what I perceive your intellectual capacities as being, because I'm in a pretty good mood today. Actually, I don't really feel like, punching down at people like you, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this Superior Court justice is not an idiot. He does not belong to any cults, and he probably understands the context as it was presented to him from both sides, because that's when a judge makes a decision, acts as some, kind of like a fact finder and whatnot. When the court is looking at this, they consider both sides and they come to a reasonable conclusion, right? So respectfully, right? You're hearing Aidan's side. You refuse to hear another side. You're in a cult.
Yeah.
And so the judge listened to both sides, and this is the decision that he made. So, you know, respectfully, Kelly.
Well,
I mean, what do you say to people like that, right? You peanut brain weirdos. I mean, I feel bad too. I'm not going to punch down like Savage style, but like, I'll be real about it. You guys are like simple and you're silly. And you can't go running around calling people weird looking too, because you look like garbage pail.
And not just that, Kelly. Honestly, I guarantee you and all of your little turtle friends, like, if I really wanted to, which I don't, but if I wanted to, I could probably use the tactics, some of which I perfected while working with Turtle Boy Sports. I could find out who you are. I'm not going to. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Like, this is just to make a point. This is not a veiled threat at all. And I'm not doing like the Aidan, like, this is not a threat, but like, I'm not going to find you. But I could. And if I did, you would immediately cry harassment. She's putting pictures of my family on the internet. She called my son ugly. You know, I could throw in somebody, and so I could call you a child abuser, right? Or whatever it is. And you would be very upset about it. And you would be justified, because that would be toxic as hell and nasty of me. And it's not like I've never done that to anyone before, but you know, every day I try to take a step forward. But you would be upset, all right? And that's a fraction of what these victims have gone through. And you've probably participated in it, Kelly. And for that, you are not a good person, right? But there's always time to just walk away from it. I'm not a good person either. I'm just going day by day to try to be a little better, right? This is unacceptable. This is not out of context. The judge heard all the context. He thinks it's unacceptable. How many people are here right now? 1,145 people. Probably 95% of the people here right now think that it's unacceptable. Most people find it honest. It's fucking unacceptable. Stop making excuses, Kelly.
And I tell people every day, I'm a thundering moron. That's part of why my name is Biff Thunder Muffin. Right? Like, I am wrong every day. And if I'm not wrong every day, I'm not learning, right? I am willing to be wrong, admit my mistakes, and move forward. And people need to take some bias training, right? Like this whole thing with Karen Reed, I feel, is confirmation bias. The cops are bad, so anything that Turtle Boy says is real because cops are bad. Yes, there are some bad cops out there. Yes, 100%. There are shitbags. I hate the government more than a lot of people here, but I also realize, like, Occam's razor, bro. Like,
right.
You know,
this is yes, Kenny, yes, this is coming from a woman who did that, right? And I'm not making it about, like, and honestly, like, it was a fucked up thing to do. I've been saying from the beginning, like, oh, don't know if that's the hill I want to die on. It wasn't the hill that I wanted to die on, right? That is a fraction of what is going on here, right? And like, you know, I didn't,
and like, I just Occam's razor, right? A drunk woman backed in her boyfriend, left him because she didn't realize that she hit him, or half the town and an entire police force and coroners are all conspiring to cover up a simple assault.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, the conspiracy, the problem, it's a house of cards and it's falling. Get out while you can, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to point out here again that when this decision is being made, which I'm about to keep reading so we can hear what the judge says about it, he's heard both sides at this point. Aidan filed one memorandum, two supplemental memorandums, two affidavits to go with those supplemental memorandums, and a hard drive full of these videos that he had his beloved Turtle Riders handpick to show the context that you claim is missing. And I believe that you guys did a good job, because you don't seem to have a lot else going on right now, right? Like, this is what you're doing. So I'm sure that you did it well, whoever did it, right? You got all the context. It was presented to the judge, and the judge made this decision because the context that you were citing does not excuse or change anything. In some cases, some of the shit that he was putting out there actually makes it a little worse to a reasonable person, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, like, the judge.
There's a lot of.
Don't tell me it's out of context. He had ample opportunity and did numerous times over provide this context that you claim is missing, and it didn't move the needle at all. That should tell you something, okay? It's not like he didn't have his day in court on this particular issue. He had his day in court on this particular issue. He goes on to say, Detective Lieutenant Tully's report demonstrated a concerted effort and repeated pattern of conduct designed by defendant to cause or threaten economic or emotional injury to witnesses or family members of witnesses and to harass those witnesses to get them to change their testimony. Defendant's actions in soliciting his followers to contact Elizabeth Proctor's employer in order to order food from Chris Albert's restaurant and not pick it up or pay for it, and to contact the college Colin Albert attended or planned to attend, were all designed to, and did, inflict economic or emotional injury. Defendant's efforts to persuade the neighbors of the McCabe's and Juliana Nagel to pressure the witnesses to change their testimony were certainly designed to harass those witnesses, as the term harass is defined in General Laws, Chapter 268, Section 13BA. The numerous calls, contacts, voicemails, and the like reflect a systematic pattern of, systematic. Let me start over. The numerous calls, contacts, voicemails, and the like reflect a systematic pattern of harassment designed to intimidate the witnesses in the Reed case. Right. Oh, footnote 11 says, if the underlying criminal penalty did not involve a life felony, defendant would be facing a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in state prison. What was that? 11? Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry, I missed that. For defendant, a violation of Section 13BB is punishable by up to 20 years in state prison or 2.5 years in the House of Correction because the proceeding in which the misconduct is directed at, i.e. the Reed case, involves the investigation or prosecution of a crime punishable by life imprisonment. So the judge is just reiterating here, he can actually face up to 20 years in prison per charge. More time than the murderer, possibly. That's incredible, right?
I believe Rakita Law said that he's facing 40 years minimum if convicted on all 9 accounts.
We'll see. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I hope it was worth it. Citing O'Brien v. Borowski, 46-1 Mass 14-20, which was the law, right? And this is a statute that I'm actually relatively familiar with just because of the nature of what I do, because I push the lines a lot, right? So, I've looked at this quite a bit, discussed this quite a bit, had it explained to me quite a bit. And this is actually, it's a 258E is what this yeah, right, which is harassment prevention. So it's civil, first of all, right? And it's very different. But defendant argues that the witness intimidation statute should not apply because he engaged in protected speech under the First Amendment. O'Brien does not nearly go so far. The First Amendment does not authorize journalists to commit crimes. In O'Brien, the court considered a petition for relief from a stay-away order under the civil anti-harassment statute, GL chapters 250-80, right? The court held that the definition of harassment in that statute excluded constitutionally protected speech, and that the phrase intent to cause fear in the definition of harassment is limited to fear of physical harm or physical damage to property. Assuming, without deciding, that the same limits apply to the witness intimidation statute, O'Brien still does not aid the defendant's argument. All right, so this is not a free speech issue. The charge against defendants do not stem from his speech alone, but also his conduct, which is not protected by the First Amendment. Moreover, speech such as, I'm going to find you, you want to fucking dance, and we'll fuck any of you dogs up, and defendant's speech designed to exhort his followers to engage in threatening or harassing conduct are true threats that are not protected by the First Amendment. Right. And he cites Commonwealth versus Chow, 433 Mass 229, 236 from 2001. True threats are words that are intended to place the target of the threat in fear, whether that threat is veiled or explicit. So he was playing word games, but doesn't fucking work. Defendant supplies no authority for his argument that the witness intimidation statute does not apply to journalists. Right. And then we have footnote 12.
This just gets so bizarre. I'm sorry. Like I'm hanging on by a thread because my mind is squirming, trying to understand that this guy is this stupid and the people that are into it are even stupider. Like, it's insane, you guys.
This is not good for your leader, guys. Like, just
this is not even real life to me. This can't be.
Not good. So footnote 12, the judge notes, nor can this type of speech and conduct fairly be considered journalism. In many of these examples, defendant was not reporting anything except for his own actions. Take, for example, the action of publicizing a witness's cell phone number and then broadcasting the sarcastic, berating messages that the defendant left on the witness's voicemail. Such a broadcast accomplishes only two things. It induces defendant's followers to call the cellular number to harass the witness, as some of the witnesses experienced, and it entertains the defendant's audience with defendant's audacity and confrontational style. Defendant created theater, and an abusive theater at that, at the expense of the witnesses and lead investigator in the Reed case and others related to them. Okay. He's not in a cult. Okay. And he's not me. He doesn't have the bias and the disdain that I have. This is the court. It's, arguably a neutral party here. It's saying like, no. Nay.
But wait, maybe this guy is part of the conspiracy.
I'm sure that he will be lumped in very soon. Yeah.
Right. He must know somebody that knows somebody that went to school with somebody that hung out with somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Well, idiots.
Defendant is also charged under GL Chapter 268, Section 13A, for having picketed or paraded near witnesses' homes with the intent of influencing the witnesses. Section 13A states, whoever, with the intent of influencing any witness in the discharge of his duties, pickets or parades in or near residents occupied or used by such witness, commits a crime punishable by imprisonment up for a year, right? So like this is another thing. He picketed and paraded and when you go into the statute in its entirety, because what they're doing with these ellipses here is this is like the relevant section to this decision. Right. But he also did this at the courthouse steps. And again, like influencing, not preventing. He seems to keep telling his people, well, I wasn't trying to prevent them from testifying. You were trying to influence how they testify. Just come clean. Admit to this murder. Say that you killed John O'Keefe. Like you're trying to influence them in the discharge of their duties as witnesses. Influence, not prevent. Prevent is a form of influencing them, but it's not the whole kit and caboodle here. Like, come on. Right. And this is another year. According to Detective Lieutenant Tully's report, defendant organized and orchestrated a rolling road rally to go to the residence of witnesses. During the rally, which involved a caravan of vehicles, and by defendant's estimate, at least 100 people, defendant used a bullhorn to accuse Trooper Proctor of framing Reed and announce personal information about Trooper Proctor's family, to inform the McCabe's neighbors that they were cop killers, and to recruit them not to let the McCabe's live like nothing happened, and to pressure Juliana Nagel's neighbors to get her to tell the truth about the cover-up. Such actions demonstrate an intent to influence and pressure the witnesses to alter their testimony about the Reed case. Given the existence of probable cause, and that's another thing, I want to be fair to our little man Aidan here. This is just, as the facts are alleged by the Commonwealth in these court documents, right now, the only thing that's been established is probable cause to charge him with this crime. He has not been convicted any of it. I personally would put money that he will be, because I think it's pretty blatant. But as of right now, Aidan Kearney is innocent of these. He is presumed innocent. Right. So, given the existence of probable cause to believe that the defendant committed at least some of the offenses with which he is charged, the district court had the authority to impose a stay away, no contact order under GL Chapter 276, Section 58, Paragraph 1, last sentence. Right. This is going to get the case toss thing. Like already one judge has opined. Well, I should say a clerk magistrate has opined and determined that there's probable cause. The police obviously believe there was probable cause. The judge that signed his arrest warrant saw probable cause. And now this judge has reviewed this again and seen probable cause. So like, I don't know. I guess you can keep.
Oh, yeah. That's nothing. That's fine.
Right. I feel like it's well established. The problem is it's not going anywhere. Right.
It's fine.
Don't worry, Turtle Riders. Everything will be good soon. Your weird
and this is also we're getting to the second section here, the constitutional guarantees of free speech and free press. So now the judge is going to look more closely at the free speech argument here, and we'll read how he rates it. But he's working under the assumption that Aidan is in fact a journalist to the press, because, as I understand it, obviously we've talked a lot about that on here with many different people who know more than I do. If you say that you're the press in this country, you can be the press in this country. It doesn't mean you can commit crimes, right? You don't have to but But so they're assuming that he's the press. All right. So lawful news gathering and news reporting is protected under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. It is also protected by Article 16 of the Massachusetts Declaration of Rights. See Massachusetts Constitution's Part 1, Article 6. The liberty of the press is essential to the security of freedom in a state. It ought not, therefore, be restrained in this Commonwealth. The right of free speech shall not be abridged. All right. The constitutional guarantee of free speech and free press, however, do not protect advocacy that is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. And they, cite Brandenburg versus Ohio, which comes up a lot in conversations of free speech. Journalist actions are also circumscribed by the criminal law, at least to the extent that the applicable criminal statutes, like those at issue in this case, are not solely directed at the free flow of information. And then they go to the Reporters Committee for Free Press. The freedom of press, the freedom to gather information guaranteed by the First Amendment is the freedom to gather information subject to the general and incidental burdens that arise from good faith enforcement of otherwise valid criminal and civil laws that are not themselves solely directed at curtailing the free flow of information, right? So they're saying, that the free press is important, the freedom to gather information, but it's not going to supersede the law, right? As long as the law is not written with the intention to abridge the flow of information here, right? Like, okay. So in addition, courts have an obligation to protect the integrity of the judicial process and may take such steps by rule and regulation that will protect its processes from prejudicial outside interferences. Shepard versus Maxwell, Seattle Times Company versus Reinhart. Although litigants do not surrender their First Amendment right at the courthouse door, those rights may be subordinated to other interests that arise in this setting. For instance, on several occasions, this court has approved restriction on the communication of trial participants where necessary to ensure a fair trial for a criminal defendant. In the conduct of a case, a court often finds it necessary to restrict the free expression of its participants, including counsel, witnesses, and jurors. And that they're both very important, right? The freedom of speech is very, very important, freedom of the press, but so is the integrity of the justice system, right? Like these,
yeah. Have you heard his diatribe about how there's this new thing where there's a protected class of citizens and they're called witnesses? Like he just that's his yeah, dude, that's his take on it. Like, hey, I don't know if you Americans knew this or not, but your First Amendment, all your amendments, they go away when you're dealing with a witness. Like, it's like, dude, no, it's not how it works.
Right.
But there are statutes that prevent witnesses from being intimidated. This is necessary for, like you're pointing out, for the legal system to work in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't understand that either.
This is literally mafia tactics that he's employing here. Literal mafia.
Well, 100%. I was just thinking that. Could you imagine, like, if all the mobs had to do back in the day was just go like, yeah, I just journalisted him to death. Like, you could get away with all your crimes because you're a journalist. Like everybody would be saying it. Right. I wasn't stalking him. I was a journalist in him. No, it's not gonna. No, it's not happening. You can't do it. You can't do that. No.
Yeah.
He thinks like a cartoon. It's just
he does.
It's weird, dude.
Right. Right. So
is everything in his life rules for thee, not for me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ain't that the culty way to be?
He's the ultimate protected class, right?
Right.
So he goes on to explain, for instance, on several occasions, this court has approved restriction on the communication of trial participants where necessary to ensure a fair trial for a criminal defendant. In the conduct of a case, a court often finds it necessary to restrict the free expression of participants, including counsel, witnesses, and jurors. Oh, I already said that. Sorry. Notwithstanding defendants' unusual tactics and inflammatory rhetoric, I assume for the purpose of this decision that the defendant is a member of the press, who, among other things, is covering a pending murder case. He claims that because he is a member of the press, it is a violation of his First Amendment rights and Article 16 of the Massachusetts Declaration of Rights to require him to stay away and have no contact with witnesses. And then he's accused of intimidating and harassing.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Okay. Journalism generally involves eliciting information from sources who may be witnesses in a case, not attempting to have witnesses change their testimony or inciting others to pressure witnesses to change their testimony. Imagine that. Imagine that. It's almost like you're supposed to cover the truth, not try to make it up as you go along.
What? That's how it's supposed to go down?
That's how, yeah.
Wow.
Defendant has no license I love this line. Defendant has no license in the name of journalism to intimidate or harass witnesses and jeopardize the integrity of judicial proceedings. But let me say it once again for the people in the back here. Judge Peter Krupp, the Honorable Judge Peter Krupp. Defendant has no license in the name of journalism to intimidate or harass witnesses and jeopardize the integrity of judicial proceedings. And that's what this is, an attack on these innocent people. It is an attack on the justice system. Little jerk-off goblins that get up on their fucking online WordPress journals and shitpost all day cannot influence or change the outcome of judicial proceedings. That's why we all have our day in court. Right. These matters are not tried on Turtle Boy Sports.
Right.
They're tried in court.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not Facebook. They're tried in court. Right. For another citizen, such actions would not be tolerated. Right. Like, apparently, if you pay $7.99 a month in Aidan's world for a WordPress site, you can say and do whatever the fuck you want. Judge Krupp does not agree. Notwithstanding the fundamental importance of news gathering and reporting, the First Amendment does not supersede the proper administration of justice and the court's obligation to ensure a fair trial, including protecting witnesses from intimidation. See Commonwealth versus McCreary, right? Purpose of witness intimidation statute is to protect witnesses from being bullied or harried so that they do not become reluctant to testify or to give truthful evidence in investigatory or judicial proceedings, and to prevent interference with the administration of justice. All right. And this is an appellate case. So that when this idiot says he's going to take it all the way up to the higher court and that this statute is unconstitutional. Yeah. You think you're going to have a stronger case? I'll look up Commonwealth McCreary versus McCreary. I'm going to ask some of my lawyer friends to look it over with me and explain, because I feel like your case is probably a lot weaker without even looking at it, because you literally say things like "come clean" and this hell will end for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one of his diatribes I was listening to, torturing myself with. He's going off about, like, you know, you'll never go outside again, and your life will never be the same. Yeah, you'll never enjoy being outside again, and all that kind of stuff, right? And he says, I didn't say that as a threat. I said it as a suggestion, as in, like, right. I wouldn't go out if I was being, and he almost said, harassed.
It's advice.
You know, like, I wouldn't like it if people were running up to me, asking me questions, taking my picture. I would probably not go outside. So I'm just recommending it to you.
Right. It's a recommendation. Right?
You're recommending that they, again, like, if only the mob just said, you know, I recommend that you don't do that or you die. Like,
right.
Like, no, you can't do that, dude. It's not
right.
Again, you fuck. You think like a cartoon, dude. You're weird as shit. You look like you're a gremlin. I can't even process you right now, dude. You're completely fucking crazy.
Yeah. And that quote is actually on page 5. The whole, you know, basically saying him and his turtle riders are literally everywhere. Right. You guys should just stop going out in public.
He says that a lot.
I recommend. That's not an excuse, dude. I recommend.
I wish that this dude would understand too that we have almost every single instance of him ever running it, even deleted videos at this point.
Oh,
like, fucking catalog.
I have a
so
60 terabyte NAS full of every video he's done on this, plus all transcripts, plus transcripts without timestamps for easy searching.
Everything.
Yeah. I have everything.
We have it all. We could make a mega mix of Aidan's witness intimidation tomorrow. Like, literally, like, it's never going away.
No.
The internet is written in ink, not pencil. All right. He sums this up by saying the right to a fair trial is just as important to the functioning of democracy as the First Amendment. Thank you. Because otherwise we could just have these kangaroo courts.
Right.
Where you just, you know. So, Section 3. Due process right to fair notice of crime. This is I mean, these are like ridiculous arguments. Defendant argues that the witness intimidation and anti-picketing statutes are vague as when they are applied to him as a journalist. A basic tenet of due process requires that a criminal statute be sufficiently clear to give notice of the prohibited conduct. Commonwealth versus Reyes. So, and Bowie versus City of Columbia. A statute violation due process and is void for vagueness when individuals of normal intelligence must guess at the statute's meaning and may differ as to its application, thus denying them fair notice of the prescribed content. Or conduct, I'm sorry. And then United States versus Harris. The underlying principle is that no man shall be held criminally responsible for conduct which he could not reasonably understand to be prescribed. Penal statutes must define the criminal offense. So they have a lot of cases here that say that like the law needs to be clear, which is fair. Defendant asserts that the stay away no contact order should be stricken because GL Chapter 268, Section A3 and GL Chapter 268, Section 13B did not put him on fair notice that his conduct, which he describes as normal journalistic tactics, was criminal. I am not persuaded by this argument. The words of the statute are commonly accepted and understood, and the term harass is sufficiently defined under GL Chapter 268, Section 13B to put an individual on notice of the prescribed conduct. C. McGee, the language in a statute will be constitutionally adequate if it conveys a sufficient definite warning as to the prescribed conduct when measured by common understanding and practice. The dearth of cases charging journalists with such crimes does not compel a conclusion that the statute is vague, particularly when defendants' tactics, as previously described, cannot be properly classified as typical behavior for a journalist.
Go figure.
I don't. Tom Brokaw, he really liked to fucking call his guns.
Yeah. I remember Ted Koppel doing that shit all the time.
Yeah. Conditions of release. There is evidence here that the defendant's statements and actions may intimidate witnesses involving the Reed case and threaten the integrity of the proceedings in that case. The language in the first paragraph of GL Chapter 267, Section 58, permitting a judge to institute a stay away, no contact order as a condition of release, clearly contemplates that limits may be placed on a defendant's contact with an alleged victim, as well as with other witnesses, presumably for the purpose of preserving the integrity of the judicial process. Commonwealth versus Norman. The general stay away, no contact orders here are justified to protect the witnesses and the judicial process. In certain respects, however, the district court's order is ambiguous. First, by not including a distance in connection with the stay away order, the district court did not provide defendant with sufficient information so that he could conform his conduct to the court's order. I will amend the conditions to require defendant to stay at least 100 feet away from any of the witnesses. Second, the district court's order of pretrial conditions of release do not reflect the consideration of defendant's interest in reporting on the Reed case and whether there are other less restrictive alternatives to allow the defendant access to court proceedings attended by the alleged victims or witness in the Stoughton District Court matters. Here, defendant has a journalistic interest in reporting on the Reed case, which should be able to be accommodated by the court officers in the controlled environment of the courthouse. In the mine run of domestic violence cases in which one party of the case is ordered to stay away from a specific distance from the other party, often 50 or 100 yards, both parties are permitted to attend their common court proceedings, even though it will bring them into closer proximity than is specified in the stay away order. This case is no different. Okay, so in stay away orders, show up at the same courthouse, like it's a controlled environment. Provided defendant complies with the rules of the court, defendant will be permitted to attend proceedings in the Reed case, even if victims or witnesses in the Stoughton matters are in attendance. Right. So, and then, denied the stay away, no contact order as to the no contact order, and is denied as to the stay away order, except for that the stay away order is amended to require the defendant stay at least 100 feet away from the named witnesses and to allow defendant to attend proceedings in the Reed case, even if that will bring him within 100 feet of any named witness. Yeah.
Was that his big win that he went from 500 feet to 100?
He's never 500 feet. I don't even know why the special prosecutor. I mean, honestly, 500 feet. Although, I mean, it would be great if he just moved out of Massachusetts altogether. We'd all be better for it. It was unreasonable. How the fuck do you know if you're 500 feet away from someone? Realistically, right. Not reasonable.
But I mean, I think my point mainly is I could see him digesting this and being like, "There's my win." you know, and not even, I doubt he's going to address any of the other shit to his whatever riders. Fuck them. God.
Yeah, Masshole said, Major Tom says 100 feet is too close in my opinion. Yeah, but I mean, like, so just being in proximity 100 feet, whatever, like his conduct is still like, you know, there's lines, right? So if he stays 100 feet away from them but continues the same bullshit, like, I mean, quite frankly, even he knows he's already violated the orders. They could bring him in any day.
Indirect contact. How many times have we got him saying you?
And not just that, he's encouraging people to go to D&E Pizza, and then wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm not telling you to do it, but read between the lines. Like, you'd have to be a fucking moron not to understand what he's saying. He's telling people to continue to go to D&E Pizza at his behest, and then they're doing it, right? And then they're doing it. And like, you know, my God, you've got the Roccos that went there and they protested, and they were asked to move, and now they've hired this sleazy porn attorney and they're suing the police department. They were not detained. They were not arrested. They were asked to move out of the eyesight of the witnesses. They were given the statute, right? They didn't move. To my knowledge, they haven't been arrested or charged, but they're suing anyway. And Aidan's pea-brain says, and that lawyer is going to have the judge rule that the whole witness intimidation statute is unconstitutional. They're going to opine on a criminal statute in a civil case. That they're going to rule on a criminal statute in a civil case that has nothing to do with you. What? Okay. I mean, clearly the judge in this decision cited appellate court cases. I feel like it's been, you know, tested and upheld.
Let them try. It's going to be funny.
Adderall's a hell of a drug, apparently.
Yeah.
It is.
This is for like attention on Facebook from very strange individuals, you know.
And we're going to go over them.
It is a complete hive.
There's like a whole side plot. They're ruining, like, they're putting the budget, they're putting tax accreditation ratings and the police station accreditation rating on the line in the town of Canton because he got his hooks into like 3 mega Karens that are just fucking
they're end bosses, guys. No shit. Oh yeah, you're
and there's allegations. You know, they're convening a special meeting. There's allegations that they forged signatures on the petition to even get this special meeting. It's a mess. He's ruining a community on top of the victim's family, the victim's friends, children, elderly people. Like, it's unbelievable what's happening right now. And you know, I don't care how many of his fucking sycophants call me obsessed, right? Like, you know how I do. I did it with many people before this. It'll be many people after. I see something that I oppose, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Nobody wants to stand up to this tiny little manlet of a piece of shit. I have consistently done it for 4 years. I don't give a fuck. There's nothing he can do to me. I will continue to stand up to him. And like, when you're in cuffs, because I'm sure it's gonna happen again, please know that I had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean,
yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
Him pressuring a family is what did it for me. That's it. Going after kids like that, dude. No. I don't care how many people's not going after him or exposing him. I don't give a shit if we're the only people on earth. It's disgusting, dude. And it's turned into a complete spectacle, like with the Canton weirdos. What do they call? What do you call them? He calls them the Canton 9 or something.
Canton 9, yeah.
Because his support group is dwindling. It's boiling down to the mega Karens, the end boss ones, right? And those ones, what do you got to do? You got to stroke their weird little egos. So you call them the Canton 9 because heaven forbid they bail on you too. Right.
They will go down in history as the Canton 9.
Yeah. You'll be proud because when this comes out in the wash, you're going to be real upset that you're attached to the shit. You'll be deleting everything where you showed support.
My rage came from this kid that's no longer playing football in college because he's afraid of. He's physically afraid of going to school.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and you have innocent civilians, right? I mean, cops can be told to go fuck a dog. Who cares, right? But like, these civilians who are family members and witnesses to
grieving
what
family
happened.
members.
Yeah, grieving family members, right?
Grieving children.
Yeah. And they haven't
like,
had a chance to grieve. They've immediately been thrusted into Aidan's debauchery and bullshit and his,
there are family members all banding together to do the best they can to make sure that children that are involved in this aren't hurt and affected by all the disgusting things that are going on, and that's heartbreaking. They're tired, man, because it's a full-time job for them all to be there for each other and for the kids. And when you're putting pressure on that, it's well past disgusting. It's what got my attention. I was very cognizant of like appearing like I'm just into inherent beef or something weird like that, and that is not the case. It is 100% what I just said. That's beyond the pale.
And these people, these victims, they're not just witnesses. They're victims. They are deserving of support. They are deserving of protection. And I don't usually ask my audience to do very much at all, because this is not a cult, right? And most of you people wouldn't listen to me most of the time anyway, and you shouldn't, because my ideas are often terrible. But in this case, like, if you see something, please stand up for these people. They deserve to have people on their side. And I know that we have people in our community that watch this channel, that engage in our Discord, or I'll put the link at the end if you want to join our Discord, that are intelligent, resourceful, free thinkers, and have convictions similar to mine. That's why we all get along, right? Like, please, if you see them attacked on social media, don't be afraid. Please stand up for them. They've done nothing wrong. They're normal, everyday people. They go to work every day, just like you and I do. They're trying to raise their families. They're better people than me. Right. And I've seen you guys defend me, right? And I don't deserve it all the time. I really don't. They do, though. Please. I'm genuinely asking.
Try to imagine what it must be like for them too, right? Like, they're, like you say, they're normal people, and all of a sudden they have all this negative attention. This cult is after them, right? They feel completely alone. Yeah. Like, that's all that's going on. Like, that the amount of stress and pressure that they have to weather is immense. It's hard to put into words. It really is. I've listened to a few of the affected people myself, and it's really hard to describe how impacting this is for people, and yes, please stand up, please say something, because they feel isolated, and that is the worst thing. Yeah.
We don't leave people behind. We don't leave them alone. We did it for Tina Slay. We did it for, even California Citizen Watch at one point, when he was really getting, harassed and stalked by Furry Potato. We've watched people throughout the years get affected by this type of behavior. It doesn't mean you have to, attack or harass back or anything.
No.
If you see it, stick up for these people. They're innocents. They're innocents in all this. And they lost their friend. They lost their brother, their son. We need to, I would hope. I personally am taking a stand. I support the O'Keefe family. I support the Albert family, and I support the McCabe family. And everybody else that has been lambasted and absolutely, trashed and drug into this because of their association with these families. They should not be alone. They are not alone. Okay, so I've seen you guys come together to fuck with Chili, right? But I've seen what you guys can do. Like, please, they don't need to be alone anymore.
No,
they're the victim of a crime, and I know what's on the charging documents. Obviously, I know that what's contained within this decision, but the behavior goes so much further than this. These people have been living in hell for 6 months. Just because their friend died. That's it.
Yep.
Don't let it happen.
Chili's done and over with, right? He's losing everything that he has around him. This actually affects real people
right now.
And you can affect change with this.
Yeah. All right. So I was getting to, Mary Smith has been a member for 12 months, and she still has not received her lawsuit.
Oh.
Don't worry. Chili might be done, but Aidan is now threatening to sue everybody in
there. Yeah, right. Yeah,
there's still a chance. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Just another nut. I appreciate it. You guys come here. Never feel like you have to join. I do a terrible job with the members only content. I appreciate the support. I'll try to push it out more, but I'm out here living life. I apologize. I post sometimes, don't post other times. Do a lot behind the scenes these days.
We're working on it.
James Clay, thank you so much for that. He didn't even leave a comment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. Wow. Nima's been a member for 16 months, and my friend.
Aww.
She says Aidan is a loser. Don't say that.
Yeah.
Loser.
Loser.
Casey Jackson become a YouTube member. Thank you. We're gonna have to do a members only something. All right.
Yeah,
I hate
absolutely.
I don't want to alienate the people that choose not to can't pay, but like you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. I'm still recovering from my own legal fees. I've learned some things about what you can and can't do on the internet. And, you guys have financed some of that. I apologize and thank you at the same time. W12 for Mercedes for $5 says, I guarantee he will rat everyone out if he thinks he is going to prison. 100%.
Oh, there is no do to boot it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to turn on Karen Reed. Because I don't know if you guys saw. I put it in the video. It's been leaking all over Twitter. That crazy murderous bitch has been behind this the whole time. Like,
dude. I gotta say too, like as things have been playing out and being exposed to what I have been, you get your thoughts about things and in the back of your head, you entertain it, but it's like, no, again, that's too much like a movie or something. It's like you wouldn't, this is weird, but yeah, it's like, it's pretty stark, it's, that is absolutely what's going on. It's crazy as shit. Wow.
Oh, apparently, I'm just looking in Discord real quick, and Aidan has already done the part where he swears that I'm going to jail.
No, clearly, yeah.
So yeah, any
day now. You just look out for Silverados. Don't,
He's like, I'm not
Silverado,
going to jail. He's going to jail. Like, I don't know, dude. I've never copped a felony in my life. I have 0 convictions to this day. That's wood right there. But I feel pretty confident that I am not at risk of being incarcerated at this point. You, on the other hand, Aidan, not looking great. Not looking good. Not looking good.
No, it is not looking.
Not so much, right?
No, looks a little capacious.
But whoever put the bet, rolling on how long it would take him to revert to Kate is going to jail, it was like an hour.
Right. Yeah.
He's on a cycle, and some of us that have been around for a while, like we know it like clockwork.
Yeah.
Aidan epitomizes the definition of a beta. What's lower than a beta, like a sigma?
Yeah. I think it's like, well, would it be? I don't know. My Ada's. The Zeta is the last one, I would guess. So that I don't know.
Oh, Sarah Marie says it won't let me super chat. That's a sign from the universe that you should take that and do something nice for yourself instead. But thank you for popping up and being a member for 17 months. I love you guys. Like, you're real gratitude. Like, you guys have been around for so long. It's great too, because this channel is still small enough that like I know most of you people were friends. It's good. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Holden, he's been around for he's been around for years. Says Kate is the new Silverado. I was thinking about, my car's not that old and I like to ride them till the wheels fall off usually, but I was saying today, maybe I'll just go buy a Silverado.
Like a crock. I was wrong as I could be. Like a crock. Is that Tully looking at me? I had to.
Trying to do that.
I was trying to do it. I don't care if it sucked. I had to do it.
It's good. No, it's good.
Got to do it.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Sarah Marie says that poor leaking law-breaking dispatcher. Listen.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't really. So I have this thing. I'll tell you my secrets of the trade. I've been using the Twitter or X or whatever the fuck we're calling it now, and I usually don't because I actually because of my time with Turtle Boy and everything. I fucking hate social media. I don't really do the Facebook thing. I don't my friends from high school that I haven't talked to in 15 years really don't need to see what my daughter had for breakfast. It's not, it's fucking weird. But I've been doing Twitter lately. And the only reason that I'm on Twitter is literally to antagonize Aidan Kearney so that we can be clear with that. That's that's why I'm there. Otherwise, I would not use it at all. But I enjoy it very much because I know that he just balls his little baby fist up and it's like crusty panties, foiled again, right? So I've been using Twitter more. And what I do is I snipe tweet. So I'll like tweet and then I'll leave it for an hour, a day, a week, like whatever. And I don't read any of his supporters' comments most of the time because they piss me off. But at the same time, I feel like at this point, as I'm trying to be a more enlightened human being, I can't sit here and argue with people like that.
Oh, going through the Rolodex of shit you shouldn't say.
You can be a little classless like me. You can be whatever, and it doesn't make you an idiot. It doesn't make you intellectually disadvantaged. But those people usually are. I don't want to do it, right? So yeah, I have to remember too that they're indoctrinated into something. There was something very broken in me that attracted me to Turtle Boy in the first place. That led to me working with him. Right. Like, and so I need to recognize that in myself and understand that that's probably what's going on with a lot of his people too. So like, yeah, the dispatcher clearly broke the law. I don't feel it was unjustified that she lost her job. I'm just going to be real. It was a fucked up thing to do. You know, we trust these people with our personal information. Yeah. And they need not violate that. But I can't, she still lost her job. I don't know if she has kids. I don't really know anything about her. I don't care to know. But like, I'm sure she's a person. She needs income. Like, not a good situation.
Celebrating it, no. But
no.
I understand that.
Who won in that situation? Who benefited? Yeah. It wasn't the dispatcher. It wasn't the victims. It was Aidan, right? He used somebody again. Exactly. And I feel the same way about the other people that he's coerced into committing crimes for him, some of whom are still going through the court process right now. It was a dumb thing to do. I've done plenty of dumb things. I've done dumb things without a cult leader telling me to. So I got no room to talk. Right? Matt DeCastro is real. Thank you for Matt DeCastro is real. Okay, he's real. Totally real.
100%.
You say catty little valley girl and a broken system, broken trust appears. He's one of those too that I understand people don't like him, don't agree with everything he says. My heart goes out to him. He's got fucking, shit to deal with. Like, I don't know. I'm getting too old to just spread vitriol everywhere. I have to at some point, and I've been reconciled that I'm certainly a fucked up individual. That's not a fucking secret, right? And so I'm just kind of drifting through life, encountering other fucked up individuals, and I can't jump on you for every little thing, and I have impulses to do so, but sometimes it gets hypocritical.
There's not enough time in the world.
Sarah Marie asks, why does he speak like a 15-year-old boy? Like, because he's interested in fucking them, allegedly, in my opinion.
Oh
my God. I'm so glad. Tom, you need to come back on panels. I'm really struggling with production on all this. I miss you. I miss him because I love working with him. But he says fire hose. If you guys don't know who producer Tom is, he was really active back in the day. Fucking great guy, good insight, good producer. But he says fire. Yeah. Well, life, and that's this motherfucker has like firebombed my community repeatedly. He just goes after people and threatens their jobs and everything else. Like, when this is all said and done and he gets his comeuppance, I know he's never going to go away. My intention is not to destroy this man because, like I said with Chili, like, they're cockroaches. They're not going anywhere. I'm a cockroach. I'm not going anywhere. But at some point, he's diminishing. Like, that's going to happen. And it's deserved because he's gone after people that I really care about that have nothing to do with anything just to try to get at me. Like, fuck you for real for that. But anyway, he says fire hose of depravity needs to go on a t-shirt with Aidan's face. Yeah. I mean, I can't really put his face on a t-shirt legally, but I can take Hoover's quote. Sarah Marie says, he doesn't like being told where he can or cannot go. He is a gutter snipe. The hypocrisy. I understand that part of the court games that he plays with me is he just desperately wants to shut me down by any means necessary. And he'll accuse me of that, but I like the content too much. I don't want to shut him down like that. But it's the hypocrisy is there, guys. That's all I can really say. Nima says, hit the like button, throw up. Yeah. So you should vomit first and then hit the like button twice.
Yes.
Aging Hippie Mama has been a member for 13 months. Thanks for fucking sticking it out, guys. I don't know how you do it. We love you. Indisputable journalism. Oh my God, the nerve.
Right? I know.
The judge disputed it.
He did.
Gage Chan says Kate always wins, aka Agent Gray. Haven't seen you in a while, dude. Good to see you. Brian Riccio, the one, the only, the most toxic troll on the left. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
People don't like you, Brian. People don't like you. I got some messages about some people who were on the fence otherwise. The funniest thing is, like, one guy was like, listen, I think, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop fucking with Riccio. And I was like, dude, he does not care. He doesn't keep fucking with Riccio. He loves it. Like, great. But thank you for the $10, Brian Riccio. I probably owe you at this point, but Beaver Zero has been a member for 12 months. Thank you. You guys are fucking awesome. What hobby should he take up in prison?
Yoga.
Sobriety.
Oh, butt clenching.
No, maybe there's some people skills in there. I don't know.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. Just double down on the butt clenching, dudes. Your only hope.
Yoga and kegels.
Yeah.
Pat's Cats has been a member for 11 months. That's a name I recognize too. Haven't been sued by Chile yet. Congratulations. I have twice. I no longer give a fuck. No fucks given. But don't worry. Aidan is also threatening a lot of lawsuits. He could prove to be quite litigious. So yeah. So if you guys join the channel, might be another lawsuit. Don't do it. Pistina the First says, "Oh man, I missed you guys. Late but ready for the road. Thank you for the $10.
I like it.
I hope that it was satisfactory." Sarah Marie says, "I can't imagine how much pain and hurt they must be in. Sending lots of love to the victims." Yeah, it's been rough for them.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Masshole Major Tom says, "I'm still waiting for my." Well, I mean, you spent $2 to say that, so there's no back pay. He's joking. Get it from Aidan. I feel like he owes you money. Kate is a Shelby Silverado ROP John O'Keefe. Yeah, I mean that's the saddest part is that's been lost in all this.
Right.
You know, and I try to focus on it too, but it's the story is just so focused on Karen and Aidan right now. I'm guilty of it as well. Delete Lawns says, "Can we change the clubhouse to Masshole Little Owls Daycare for one upcoming Friday? I'm a little owl."
What?
I know what that means. And it's
I was going to say this is some kind of code
thing
or whatever. Yeah.
I said I would leave her alone, so I'm going to leave her alone. Christ Manson says, "Hi, Kate." Christ Manson, my love. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you. I love Christ Manson. I miss you in Discord. Come back. Scott Ammo has been a member for 13 months. It says, "Thank you for your work. It's vital. Fight on." I do it because I feel like it's important. It's exhausting. That's why I take long breaks in between these little projects. Yeah. I enjoy the fight. I don't shy from the fight. I feel like it's probably some sort of psychological issue that I should probably be unpacking. But I do this because I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy standing up to these people. But it's crazy. Masshole Major Tom has been a member for 39 months.
Holy hell.
Why did you ever pay for this, Tom?
Wow.
Why did you ever pay for this? Hellfire's been a member for 15 months.
Right on.
Ben Holden, 19 months. He's been supporting my crack habit for a long time. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I've yeeted many babies out the window on your dollar. Project Constitution says, "I hope you saw my public apology to you on Witch of Heart channel when she interviewed me. I am so sorry. I did not. And I don't know what you were apologizing for." Because I usually recognize people. I don't recognize you. I have this thing. It might be a little bit.
That's Colin.
Who?
That's Colin, aka Delete Laws Clips.
Oh, the Delete Laws Clips guy. Oh, you don't have anything to apologize for. Contrary to popular belief, don't take these things that personally. So like it seems real personal and I get real worked up and I'm crazy. So it can be a little bit contentious at times, but generally speaking, with very few exceptions, obviously, cards on the table, Aidan being one of them, I don't take the verbal sparring back and forth or the insults or anything else that gets lobbed at me. It's not personal to me. I don't really care. Your opinions of me don't define my opinion of me. I'm just too old for that. So if people shit on me, I allow it in my chat. They do it on their channels or their Facebooks or wherever they're going to do it, Twitter, wherever else. And I don't care. Some stuff that said, like, I would be lying if I wasn't like, ooh, that's hurtful, but I don't have to look at it, right? Like, you have the right to say it. I have the right to ignore it, and we're good. So at any point, like, I appreciate, Colin, that you wanted to apologize to me, but it's not necessary. Like, we're good, really, honestly. Like, life's too short. I got thick skin. I do. Yeah. Remember anybody? Honestly, if I wasn't paying attention to it at all. Oh my God, I'm getting phone calls. So on that note,
is it Ed?
Oh snap!
Not. Ed never calls me. Ed doesn't want me. Someday I will be, his abusive stepdad. Cyrax's abusive stepdad. I will do it. I love eating kids. If you haven't joined our Discord server and you think you have an interest, it's a pretty shitty place. Things get really toxic. The rules are constantly changing, and I only enforce them halfway through the month usually. Yeah, it's very inconsistent there, and I don't do a very good job with it. But if that doesn't scare you, join our Discord server. It's all right in there. I'll probably go over there and go into voice for a little bit because I'm already up too late. So why not push a little further? And we can discuss this further. I always like to hear what you guys have to say. So on that note, Boomer, do you have anything else to say? You're not a real person.
I am not a real person. I am a facsimile of yes, I am not. I'm nothing. I'm a Canadian. I'm less than a person. I don't think I have half a soul. Like 3/4 of a ginger. Like
that. Biff, do you have any final comments?
Well, I hope this is proof that I am not Kate on Twitter, but for those of you who still insist that, I welcome you to your opinion.
We got a couple more I gotta kill before we leave. Ben Holden has apologized for the earlier crack comment. Thank you, because it really hurt me. I felt it right there. And Christ Manson says, "Wait, the Discord has rules." Officially, I try. My bad. I don't. It's just it's they change constantly. Like I think that some words, I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm constantly in like an existential crisis, guys. Like I don't really like.
Oh no. Oh no. Not one of those.
Yeah, constantly.
Dag nabbit.
Yeah. Yes, Boomer is cool kids. Boomer is an AI, and so is Biff.
I am an AI. Beep boop.
Biff, are you in jail?
No, I'm in jail. Yep.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I'm in jail. It's me.
Yes, Christ Manson is a mod, and he doesn't enforce rules in there. That is true. That is true. But yeah, I'll drop it one more time before we go. Join the Discord server.
Yeah, I dare you.
Even though my kids don't have school tomorrow, my son just came out of his bedroom and seemed pretty pissed off that I was still streaming. So I think I'm going to kill it late. And we'll be in Discord.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Later.